Hello everyone, coming back at you once again with a less expected video. You see, there's been someone who's been on my mind for quite the time, and has turned out to be a person just as many probably suspected. Now before we start, I want to specify, I want actual intelligent viewers here. If you're going to be biased, don't even watch the video. You can always just do me a favor and drop a dislike and comment a random insult without watching the full video if you are extra. In this video, I will describe my experience with this guy and the many things I've uncovered and discovered by other people themselves. But to start off, who is CEO of trolling? Originally, he was called another anti-furry, but he switched up to the name and profile picture he has now. He is of course an anti-furry, who made videos on certain topics regarding furries and posted many anti-furry memes along with anti-furry related posts. Now as he changed his alias to now the CEO of trolling a while back, I feel as if he's gotten a bit more toxic, and in my opinion, I think he is quite prideful in a sense too. Always acting as if anything he says is correct. Many other people I already know have said CEO of trolling is sort of narcissistic, and I would not be surprised if those claims were on point. One thing to add is the situation with Crimson Fur, in which he harassed him heavily for his plain gooning addiction, which I covered in another video where CEO was present. Currently, Crimson Fur is not on YouTube really anymore, as he was harassed for some of the dumb stuff he said and some things that may harass other anti-furries. It was said that Crimson Fur kept indirectly mocking these anti-furries, and as such, as I don't agree with Crimson Fur on the things he does, I don't think it's acceptable either to mock the fact that there still could have been a chance of him taking his own life. He did not, however, so that was good. But still during the time they were still speculating, so they still continued their careless harassment, and in this case, I would not take any chances to continue such harassment. But remember, this is coming from someone who claims online people aren't real. So apparently, CEO is indirectly saying, if someone gets all their information leaked online, it doesn't matter because that person is quote-unquote not real. If someone harasses someone else online to the point where that person takes their own life, apparently it doesn't matter because that person is quote-unquote not real. If an adult man sends a minor inappropriate pictures of himself online, apparently it doesn't matter because that person is quote-unquote not real. With the words you've just used, that's basically what you've entailed to us indirectly, considering these are online acts, which leaves me disgusted. Wow, very mature. I see why people now call you CEO of trolling. You're so good at trolling that you end up playing yourself in the process. Womp womp. Continuing onward, in CEO's archive account in his DMs, we had a discussion where CEO told me all furries are bad as the good ones, as they lead people to the bad ones. Now my response to this is, the actual good ones notice how bad it is and even talk about it and tend to warn the people they are discussing it with. Yes, there are some who do say it too and actually don't mean it, but there still remains a small portion of them that are actually normal and won't over-sexualize everything in front of your eyes. Furthermore, there's a recent drama spurring up over something I did 2 years ago, because CEO of trolling, being himself, loves drama. This behavior in itself is very petty. Do you want me to describe to you why they are so angry? What they are angry over is a fictional woman from 2 years ago that I brung back to life. There is some justification behind the suspicion, as previously back those 2 years, I had fallen into a pit of lust with such character. However, I've changed this character and have changed myself as well. The character has story and lore, and I myself am moving into adulthood soon. When I fell into the pit of lust, I was around 14ish. I am now currently 17 years old, turning 18 in about a few months. Do you really think I'm the type of guy to have an imaginary furry girlfriend when I am trying to get my life together? And remember, if you actually know me, I create hunt animations that target literal NSFW artists. Tell me right now, does it make sense for a guy to have an imaginary furry girlfriend when he's hunting literal furries associated with a lustful industry of art? That would be hypocritical, and it does not match up at all. I even have a future video planned to where I explain why I believe Yip is zoophilia, and have even already started interviewing furries on why they believe it isn't, as I have my points on why I think it is. Despite none of these making any sense, people are too stupid to think twice. And remember, there's 2 other anthros, and if the first one I stated was quote-unquote only for gooning, then why are the other 2 there? They actually play a role in the animations and have not even yet made an appearance. So to judge so badly where you have to have a group of people against me over a woman who is once again fictional is very immature. I find it also very comedic how he calls me a furry for this character, as he says its art style is related to how furries draw. Yet in the recent community post, he states, "You do not have to be a furry to like anthropomorphic animals." And also, just remember, everyone has a different art style, so that makes no sense. Another thing is that I have a friend named Meepios who specializes in making hunt animations like I do. But apparently, when he draws the same anthro characters, he isn't a furry. To me, this personally screams favoritism, as he even was supposed to appear in a hunt animation that Meepios is creating. But if you want to take things a step further, he could also just be using Meepios, as he states he doesn't care about him, while still focusing on the fact he might have focused on another animation instead of the one including him. And if you want to lead back to his username, already knowing it contains CEO, the CEO is usually the guy everyone looks up to. The fact that this guy seems to want to be the center of attention already complements and proves his prideful nature, and the name CEO where everyone is supposed to look up to him. I'm not saying everyone who follows him is a slave to CEO trolling, but CEO is just the know-it-all who always thinks he's right. And another thing that baffles me is that my friend Meepios has been the entire reason for my art improvement. Other form of proof of overall narcissism and favoritism is how he reacted to my animation I made named Alibi's Punishment, where I sentenced a furry to the Spanish donkey for drawing zoophilic art. Within the DMs of CEO of Trolling's old account, he acts as if I'm barbaric for the animation and tries to shame me for it. Now, was it violent? Yes. However, it could have been way worse. All the animation was some dialogue along with the eventual fate of the character. And even within that, I didn't even have the exquisite detail of them being on it for the whole time and suffering through it all. And this video was a solid 1 minute. Now if you remember, as I said earlier about me hunting NSFW artist OCs, this is actually the first one I've hunted that has made inappropriate feral art, while the other ones have just been anthropomorphic NSFW, which I still find to be bad, but the feral ones are much worse. And how can you be so judgmental when, as I said previously, you would be in a hunt animation made by Meepios himself? And don't think I forgot your shitty old hunt animation too, which you try to compare to mine. No, my animations aren't the best, but neither are they as bad as yours. The only reason he tries to say this is probably considering the fact he knows he is only good at trolling and nothing more. He even claims to be different in real life and not to be how he is on the internet, which I believe to be true, because if he did treat someone like this in real life, he'd be beaten to bits, considering he has no time to work out and all the time to cause quarrels. One last thing before I move on to the next section is relating to his hunt animation. As you know, how I said I hunt NSFW artists, he did too. However, the thing comes with how he says I goon because I quote unquote search for the characters. And since I hunt NSFW artists, I'm unfortunately forced to use their NSFW art pieces as references for their characters and how they look when I animate their demises. Now by this is basically self-sabotage, considering CEO also had to have looked at a reference for the two characters he hunted to make the previous hunt animation I said he created, considering it includes them. Some last things I want to clear up here is how CEO, of course, by no surprise, uses some unfunny derogatory terms in some of his comments. But what I find to be mind-boggling is how he tries to use my friends Some Idiot and Sneak to also call me a hypocrite, as they use the same inappropriate language. As much as that is a fact, the big difference is I don't tolerate it, and I tend to take action in my server when needed. But when it comes to CEO's server, it remains unmoderated when coming to the same circumstances. Never in my life did I ever think I'd have beef with a guy who is apparently 27 years old, which I still find very hard to believe. Same case with his imaginary wife. But ending off on this, dear CEO, respectively, hop off my meat. We get it, you have a man crush, but it's time to stop. And with all you fellow viewers, have a great rest of your day.